Great to have you along for the ride. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Glad to have this man back. And, of course, is General Michael Flynn, friend of ours. More importantly, a great American, former national security advisor, flynnmovie.com. General, how are you? Good to see you again.
I'm doing good, Pags. How are you? What a time to be alive, man.
It's amazing.
It's a Friday afternoon. It feels like a whirlwind from, a week and a half now that we've been, everybody's been elated by the massive mandate victory by Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
And but now, I keep telling people that this is not, we can't declare victory. We can feel great, and we should feel great as a nation.
Yeah.
That we did not get taken over by a bunch of communists, because that's really what was about to happen. And the globalists would have moved rapidly to sort of finish their planned operation to essentially change, in their words, build it back better, right? Destroy everything, then build it back better. So right now, Pags, we have some breathing room. We are kind of in phase 2 of a multi-phased operation. Phase 2 is the transition into the government. I've been through that before, and it was very ugly. And I think Trump operating out of Mar-a-Lago is smart, very smart. In fact, he's doing it on purpose to a degree, because it's a better environment for him. It's away from Washington, D.C. People can get in and out of there easily. It's actually safer for him. He's not in any kind of bunker mentality.
Right.
I've seen some people on the left say that, but this is not a bunker mentality. This is an operations center, and he's running his operations like a military commander of a very strategic operation. And I said, a week ago after the election that this is sort of like the metaphor I was using was a World War II metaphor.
Right.
This is like D-Day +1. We've taken over Normandy. We've broken through the hedgerows. We got our adversaries on their heels. We've definitely won the information war, Pags. You have been a huge part of that. Your audience needs to understand that. The giant influencers, the citizen journalists, the big podcasts that are out there, you operating, every single day, three hours a day. And I know it takes a lot longer to prepare. And, then you go through all of the feedback from your audience. This is what it's going to take for us to continue to maintain sort of this foothold, on the European peninsula or the European continent.
Yeah.
And move towards what I call victory over Europe, right? Where we finally get control back of this country, and we begin to execute, because all of these picks that Trump is making, and there's going to be some ups and downs, guarantee that not everything's going to be perfect. There's going to be a lot of attacks. There's going to be a lot of sniping.
Already are, yeah.
And there's going to be sniping from both sides of the aisle.
Yes.
We've already been through the whole Senate transition, right? And we've seen the results of that, but we have to keep fighting. We didn't get what we wanted. We definitely didn't get what we wanted. It shows, though, I think, to a degree, the way that our founders created this thing which was a separation of power between the three branches, and that's not a bad thing. I see that as a very good thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Senator Thune. But I was going for my own senator, which is Senator Scott.
Yeah, me too.
But I do know that there's going to be some ups and downs as Trump goes through his various picks, and as he gets them in this transition period, and on the battlefield, Pags, transition from offense to defense, or defense to withdrawal, or defense to offense, defense to counterattack. Those are all transitions. They are the most difficult aspect of warfare when you go through a transition, when you have to go from one phase to another phase. And in this case, it's the transitory phase, and it's very difficult because there's a lot of uncertainty. You don't have, not all of your forces have arrived yet, right? Your team is not quite arrived yet. I do know that they have some extraordinary talent involved here. Of course, Elon Musk right at the top of that list with the efficiency task force. Vivek is Ramaswamy's helping him out. You got Bobby Kennedy identified and taking over HHS, and of course they attacked him right away. The left attacked him right away. even a couple of senators attacked him, but they didn't attack the for being, inexperienced, for not being the right. Are you kidding me? But the guy that we got in there doesn't even know whether he's a guy or not. So,
it's true.
And I'm serious. I'm very serious. I'm being very precise here, Pags. So transition is I kind of call this sort of our, this is another phase of the operation. And then the next big phase is to execute. Once he swears that oath of office, and I actually think that this transition from one president to another, I wouldn't even recommend Trump do the old, up on the Capitol steps.
Really?
I think that, yes. And the reason why is because I think security is that I just feel like security is at a heightened level. I mean, I don't like this. I don't like the sense that I have. I just don't. It's my gut, and I would recommend that. But Trump obviously, it's not a bunker mentality.
Well, he's not like you. He's a showman. You're incredible, but he's not going to worry about that. Just like getting out of the car in 16 or 17 when he won and walking down the street when everybody said, "Don't walk down the street. What's wrong with you?" You get the feeling that he's not going to listen. But I'm with you. I fear for his safety too.
Even 16 or 17 during inauguration, I was in the vehicle right behind him when he got out of that car, and that's fine. That was fine at that time. This is a different time. They've already attempted 2 times to try to kill this man. And, we're very lucky he got shot in the head one time, another couple of centimeters to the left there, or the right, I guess, his head would have been red mist. Oh. And this is a different time. We are now having to fix our country in a big, big way. There's a lot of course correction that must happen with the United States of America. And it's not just the Department of Justice. It's not just the U.S. intelligence community.
It's all of it, right? It's all of it.
Every single aspect of our country is at risk. And frankly, there's not a lot of time. There really isn't. I mean, we're looking at maybe a year, 18 months at most before you roll into the next, the 20, whatever it is.
Yeah, the midterm, the 2026.
2026.
Yeah.
Midterms, and, and that takes a little bit of eye off the target because, you got to win Senate seats, you got to win governor seats, you got to win the House back. We got to stay in power for the entire duration of Trump's presidency. That's going to take energy by him, personal energy from him, and it's going to take his eye off of whatever fight. The other thing, as I go on my rant here, Pags, is
we love the rant.
His team that he is picking, they not only have to be prepared to execute in their lanes, but they also have to be able to execute together. We all must, and I say we, all of us in this country that just gave this man the mandate, we have a responsibility. We can't just leave this up to one man or a small team of people, to make this happen. But his team has to come together in a very seamless way and not have their own personal agendas.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to make sure of is, these are cautionary things, because in my lifetime, in my experience in large units, large organizations, and then going into government where I really witnessed, the incredible backstabbing environment, and that wasn't the Democrats.
Yeah.
Pags. Okay. Yeah. The backstabbing environment because people are trying to, claw over each other for their own egos. Never mind dealing with the left trying to shoot down every single thing you're trying to do, and they still have the corporate media. But we now, to me, it's like I own you. If I say I own you, we the people in the world of citizen journalists and independent podcasts, we own the media now. We own it.
Well, 100%. The ground game was so much better. And getting on podcasts, I mean, you thank you for the kind words for me, but you being out there with your movie, you've got Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn and all these gigantic people, Dan Bongino, everybody's getting it done. And we got the message out and subverted, or at least usurped the power that the legacy media had. Let me tell people listening who I'm talking with. It's General Michael Flynn, former national security advisor. Go to flynnmovie.com. The new 30-minute documentary about his travels for the movie is available at flynnmovie.com. flynnmovie.com. Go there and get it right now. You can sign up at flynnmovie.com to unlock the free documentary. Let me ask you specifically about the National Security Advisor, Michael Waltz. I had him on a week and a half ago when he was still Representative Waltz. The guy's a really smart guy. He's a sharp dude. What is that job? What is he going to face the second he starts doing things? Is he already doing things now?
Yeah, he is. And I will tell you that he is very well prepared for this job. Not only his time in Congress, but also his military experiences and the network of people that he has. And Mike is a very strong leader type, and he's got good leadership skills. And I think that that's as important as his sort of national security portfolio and his ability to understand the dimensions of that job, which includes everything. I mean, national security is not just foreign policy and the wars that we're involved in. Those are monumental by themselves, but it also includes everything. It includes economic security, domestic security, education security. You're the principal advisor on a range of issues to the President of the United States, and I know that he's got a good relationship with Trump, and I think that Mike is going to be terrific in that job. He's not, I will tell you, and because I know this for a fact, and it had a lot to do with what I experienced. Everybody knows. Don't get caught up, because at that time in the 2016, 2017 timeframe, we really were. We were sort of naive and felt like, okay, we're going to go in there. We're going to really make America great again. We were going to get in there and we weren't going to be caught up in some spying operation or some underhanded undermining, usurping of the constitutional principles that we all are about. And I keep telling people, Obama was right at the center of that, and he initiated the coup in his own dam in the Oval Office on the 5th of January of 2017. People can watch my movie to get that view. And that's not, a conspiracy theory. That happened.
So at this point, it's eyes wide open then for Waltz. He knows going in. You can't say, let's just make it great.
Exactly. Mike knows exactly what he knows what Trump's agenda is. He knows the direction that this man wants to go. And frankly knows the country is going to need strong leadership in that position. And Mike is the type of guy. Mike he's the right type of leader. He knows exactly what to do to bring people in a seamless way together, right? To organize the National Security Council, to organize meetings that Trump is going to have to go into right away, once he takes over the White House, once he takes over the country.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, there are going to be things between now and then, because I hope that Trump is not taking the damn PDB briefings. I hope he doesn't have some intel group of people that are showing up to Mar-a-Lago every day, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to spy on Trump, and they're going to go back and report on exactly what.
So your advice would be turn them away and just start from scratch on the 20th.
Yeah, there's plenty of intel out there that Trump can get his hands on by people that he knows already, by businessmen, by leaders around the world. He can talk. If he wants to know what's going on in Eastern Europe, he can call up Zelensky or call up Putin.
That's true.
I mean, come on. And in fact, those are the kinds of communications that we need to engage in. If he wants to know what's going on over in North Korea, he can call up the Korean president, because I believe me, the Korean president was so happy that Donald Trump became the president of the United States. These people over in Japan, the Republic of Korea, the Philippines, Southeast Asia, and Indonesia, Vietnam, I'm telling you, all these countries. Not to mention, a few in Europe, although the United Kingdom's not one, and neither is France.
Right.
But a lot of countries in Africa, countries throughout the Middle East, they are so happy that Donald Trump won this presidency. So if he wants intel, he'll just pick up a phone and call up a king, a prince, hell, even the damn dictators if necessary.
Well, it makes perfect sense.
People coming into his orbit right now and spying on him, because that's what they're going to do.
General Michael Flynn, go to flynnmovie.com, get the 30-minute documentary, check out the entire film as well. It is that General Michael Flynn, the former NSA. So let's talk about a couple of other picks in the time we have remaining. There are two really hot button picks that you know about and that everybody is watching. Pete Hegseth, where you've got idiots on The View say he's just a morning weekend host on Fox. This guy's a 20-year veteran. He is a Harvard guy. He's a guy who is smart, been in the foxholes, has been in combat, and he knows his stuff. And he was the guy who was loudly a couple of years ago, even on my show, saying, got to get rid of DEI. Women shouldn't be in combat. I mean, he knows what he wants out of the Department of Defense. Do you feel good about that pick?
Yeah, I do. And I will tell you that I think that Pete is going to come under extraordinary pressure here because they're going to, there and Tulsi too. You've already heard some of the nonsense about Tulsi. Tulsi's terrific. Pete's terrific. These are good people, but they all have to be ready to go through the meat grinder here. Okay,
it's already started.
And the meat grinder meaning they're going to go back to their days in elementary school, right? So just get ready. Make sure that you're stiff in your spine. Make sure that your families are squared away and your close friends are squared away, ready to hear the worst things about you, because they're going to make stuff up as they go.
Yeah.
And they're going to lie. They're going to deceive the mainstream media. These people have not gone away because they got beat. Okay. They didn't go crawl back underneath their rock. They should, but they did not. The globalists, and this, Peg, the globalists, they were coming into the United States to take over the United States of America. And they were going to do it through the likes of Kamala Harris and Barack Obama, who's still hanging around Washington, D.C. So, and I, there are others that are still in play. People like John Brennan, Jim Comey, Clapper, all these same names, and there's some new ones.
The list of 51 that lied about the laptop. All of those people are still working on it.
And you know what? There were some admirals and generals that signed, some 250 or 300, whatever the number was, that signed some letter saying Trump is a danger to democracy. Every single one of those people should have their clearances revoked.
Yes.
And they should all be examined for which government contract they currently have. Because I guarantee most of them probably are benefiting from some government or intelligence community contract. I would bet a dime to a dollar, Pags, that they all have some tie, and they all signed off on some letter thinking that their voice coming out of Washington, D.C. was going to matter to regular old Americans across this country. And I will tell you one last thing, Pags. There was a lot of people, and I mean a lot, over the last 6 months that came up to me, and I went all over this country a number of times, but they would come up to me and they'd whisper and they'd go, "I'm voting for Trump. I just can't tell anybody at work."
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And
they did.
And they did. And you know what? And they're happy. And they're happy because now what's going to happen is we're going to see, and we've already seen it, like an economic resurgence because of
immediately.
Trump. We've already seen foreign policy issues, completely shift because Trump won. So the guy is already making a difference. He's got a team to pick, and I think what we have to do as Americans, we have to get behind them. And I do want those people to know a couple of those that we mentioned. I guess he announced Burgum today. Of course, Bobby Kennedy. These Murkowski and the other gal from the senator from Maine there.
Right. Susan Collins.
They can't vote for Bobby Kennedy. Give me a break.
It's so stupid. But they're trying to be relevant. I'm going to make this part of Joe Pag's overtime, so we'll continue. For those listening on the radio, we'll hit a break here. General, I've got to ask you about Matt Gaetz, because Matt Gaetz, when you watched him in hearings, when you watched him question people, the guy believes in the Constitution. He's America first. Yes, he's a firebrand. I think he named himself that, rightfully so. This guy is under scrutiny because of some stupid ethics thing that they were investigating in the House. And people like Mitt Romney are saying he can't be. People like Kevin McCarthy are saying he can't be confirmed. What do you think about? I think the pick is genuine and righteous, because the guy knows the law and he's holding people's feet to the fire. That's why he's in trouble. Does he get through?
Yeah, I do. I believe he will. It's going to be a knife fight. But people in glass houses, like those two names that you just mentioned, better be careful. Where they throw stones, okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, what is very real, Pags, is the American people are wide awake. And the world of social media is on fire. Thank you, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And the world of independent podcasters with big audiences. Thank you, Joe Pags.
Yeah.
And Rogan and Tucker and, on and on and on, right? Charlie Kirk and, all of us. But thank you. Thank you for being out there for 3 hours a day talking about these issues. So we're not about to roll over. And I don't want any American that's listening to this show. I don't want any American to think that because we won the election, we can all go home and wait for good things to happen.
No, the work starts now. Yeah.
The work, actually the tougher part. I know that the final 60 days of that campaign for Trump had to have been exhausting. I watched that man in all kinds of, all of his rallies and multiple things a day and donors and all this crap that you got to go through. And now it's going to get even harder, okay? Because this is when you now have to build your team. You got to pick your team again. And he picked an amazing team for his campaign team. It got him to where he needed to be, which was the victory circle. And the American people were paying close attention. And absolutely, we know that we need this leader during this very seminal arc of history that is existential to our country if we didn't get it right. So now he's got to pick another team in a very short period of time. And I know that he'll do that. Like I said, there's going to be some fits and starts here. There's going to be some sacrifices just because some things are going to pop up and you're just not going to know about them. And that's okay. We have an abundance of great leaders in this country. And I'm so glad that Trump is operating this transition period down at Mar-a-Lago, because to me, I feel better for his safety. Yeah. I think that's super important. And I feel better for the type of people that he's really looking to bring onto his team.
Well, General, he's getting much better advice this time, and the advice is working. The last time it was like, hey, I'm going to be the CEO, and I'll just run it like a business. You can't. The swamp is too deep. There are too many people. You can't keep an eye on it like that. He's getting great advice. I'm sure some of it's from you. Last question for General Michael Flynn. Go to flynnmovie.com. Go check out the 30-minute documentary about the tour for the movie, flynnmovie.com. Go there right now. If you haven't gone yet, why not? Here's the last question. They had $1 billion, General, and lost. How exactly does the left? I don't want you to give them advice on how to fix it, but what do you think is going to happen for the Democrats? There's no bullpen. There's nobody on deck. It's not Gavin Newsom. It's not Gretchen Whitmer. General, if I gave you $1 billion, couldn't you accomplish the job? How did they do that and squander that money?
Yeah, because they're crooks. These are crooks, and these are crooked people. And there's no other way to say it. So here's what I think we are looking at in this country politically. I really do believe this, and we're going to see, as things shape up here over these next 4 years, I actually think we're seeing an emergence of another party system.
I agree.
Right. And, where we had Democrats and Republicans, right? That was kind of the way we've always been. I actually think we're seeing an emergence of sort of a conservative movement in this country. We may still, just because of the apparatus, call ourselves Republicans, but I think that is shifting. The other side, I think, is going to they're either going to continue under this chokehold of communism, which is very real, or they're going to be able to break out, and you're going to see a libertarian or independent movement in this country. But that's going to go through some growing pains.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the communists just got defeated badly.
Yes.
And the communist movement, literally was on the ticket. And I ain't talking about Jill Stein. I'm talking about Kamala Harris.
Yes.
And the Democrat Party that became the Socialist Party of America / communists, right? So that died, and you can hear them. I turn on and watch the enemy networks every so often, and I hear them talking about, the woe is me and what we did or what we didn't do, what we did right or did wrong. So I see an emergence of a new political system growing out of this particular era, not just this election.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Well, you've got Tulsi, and you've got Joe Rogan, and you've got RFK. A guy named Robert F. Kennedy is now on Trump's administration. I think you're right. I think that we are post the two-party system. I think you nailed it. General, we got to hit it for now. Do me a favor. Come back every time you want to. I love having you on. Show the people the shirt. Make America surf again. I love it, yeah.
Make America surf again.
Yeah, I hope that high tide and surf is up for you. I know that you're hankering to get out there and get that done. Thanks for stopping by today. Thanks for all you do, and I love working with you at Patriot, okay?
God bless, Joe. Thank you.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon. We're back after this. Stay right here.